the finally, and the winner is Team Engineer!
The man in blue will lift the $60,000 prize pool and they'll have the trophy. Can we have it for Engineer Gaming?
कहाँ से शुरुआत करी थी, कहाँ पे खत्म किया है,
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। घातक अमन जोनाथन नियो, कहाँ से प्लेयर्स आए, किस तरह से इन्होंने टीम बनाया, मिलान में इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट किया, अब इंडिया को प्राउडली रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे कुआलालंपुर में।
Esports is a form of sport competition using video games, which is often organized into multiplayer video games, particularly between professional players individually or as a team. Esports has managed to take over the gaming market in India mainly because of the growth and promotion done on online streaming platforms such as YouTube Gaming, Twitch, and Facebook Gaming. The word esports is getting increasingly popular day by day, thanks to the multiplayer online games like PUBG, Fortnite, VALORANT, CSGO, Dota, and World of Warcraft. The masses still don't know that the esports industry is more than a decade old and has just shot up in India in the past few years with more developers and investors jumping into the sector. The most common video game genre of esports are MOBA, first-person shooter, fighting, card games, battle royale, and real-time strategy. The popular franchises include League of Legends, Dota, Valorant, and Counter-Strike. But still people are unaware of what exactly esports is offering to its promising gamers. To know more about the industry, we head to EXE, the Game Changer, an esports club in Matunga, Mumbai, where we met Krish Mehta, who is the owner of this club and an esports team known as EXE.
My name is Krish Mehta and I've been a gamer since I was 10. I got introduced to gaming from my dad. He used to get me all sorts of consoles and we had a gaming, like an office PC at home, and I used to play 1.6 on that. Coming to 2018, I came back from my education and I saw that the gaming scene in India was nowhere to be found. It was scattered in different places and no one was actually doing anything about it. People just kept on just neglecting gaming altogether. So I understood the problems that the gaming culture or gaming industry faced in India, and I took the first step. I created a physical infrastructure, and thus EXE, the Game Changer, was formed. Gaming industry, I'll say it's still not started. If you can say, it's just taking baby steps. Everyone's trying to get their feet in, trying to figure out where they can be. But I'll say PUBG Mobile, when it was big, it played a big role in helping esports get recognized in India. And I believe mobile gamers are gamers, but it just depends on the games they play, how they play it, and the type of gamers there are. But I would still say the PC gamers are much bigger in numbers compared to mobile gamers, but they lack the infrastructure for them. Globally, gaming is still getting recognized. Now in most countries, gaming is already recognized. Just in India, when it came to gaming being recognized, like PUBG Mobile was the biggest thing, but our government itself had different issues. That being said, it's with different companies, so I won't talk about it. But I feel government needs to be more okay with the idea of gaming. Now some parents are already okay with the idea of gaming because for the past 1 year their children have been in front of a screen anyway, and they've been playing games also, like after studies, before studies. The gaming is not affecting their studies, so parents are now inclining towards, yes, gaming is a part of their child's life, so that's a boost. The biggest thing is college and universities really and schools really need to figure out to incorporate gaming in a way in their curriculum, because gaming is not just playing games. It comes to game design, web design, UX UI design. It's a completely software engineering to branding, marketing, PR, law. Everything's included. So it's a big spectrum that can be targeted with just gaming.
India, as a country, lacks to provide career options to potential Indian gamers. The country's mindset and stereotypical nature negates gaming as a career. We got a chance to know more about their difficulties when we interviewed people and gamers from the Indian esports industry.
The whole idea of streaming is such a dynamic sport. It's definitely something to explore. Other than podcasting, streaming is the next big format.
So there's two ways to look at it, right? I feel like esports has, of course, always been there. You've had CSGO players going like over 10 years back now. But of course, what made it mainstream really was PUBG Mobile, because I think, of course, accessibility was a big deal always. Like even when you look at abroad and how big player bases are, it's because of accessibility. It's why really a lot of Riot games end up being popular, because they are made to cater also to lower end PCs as compared to their competing games, where it usually does end up catering to higher end PCs. But in India, PCs itself is very hard to access. So when a game came along that was fit not just to play on your mobile, but to be competitive along, I think that's when people started realizing that the better you get at a video game, there is something beyond just being bragging rights and you're telling your friends that you're good at a video game. That's esports. And that's when the idea of esports started getting mainstream. I think, of course, VALORANT got a little boost with the whole PUBG Mobile not being an option anymore, but that's the same idea. Like the more esports got boosted because of PUBG Mobile, the more people started accepting, hey, you know what, PC games can also be esports, and yeah, and so on. So I think PUBG Mobile definitely a big catalyst for Indian esports.
It's definitely a developing field, and considering that there's not much to regulate on it, it's free reign. Unlike countries like Sweden or Germany, where there is a lot of regulation on microtransactions and other aspects of gaming, where age restrictions, and we don't have a PEGI rating over here. You have a PEGI rating in US. I mean, Drake wouldn't be investing in 100 Thieves if it wasn't a big thing. Hassan wouldn't be at his own roast at 100 Thieves if it wasn't a big thing. You know, you wouldn't have 100K Prime subs, you wouldn't have Amazon buying out Twitch as quick as they did if it wasn't a big thing. And of course, we have seen it with Blizzard and the WoW tournaments. It's huge.
So the biggest struggle, I think, is it's just consistency. Like I struggle with that the most myself in my content, where it's very hard to be consistent unless you're a full-time dedicated content creator. And none of those people started out as full-time dedicated content creators. They started creating content and they realized that to grow, you need to be consistent, and to be consistent, you need to strike a balance between who you are in your normal career versus what you're doing in your content. Eventually, your normal career ends up being your content, or vice versa, you know. Understanding that there's a difference between what a gamer is trying to give and what an audience is trying to take. Like I'm saying this from a content creator perspective, right? Because when I started streaming, I used to just stream my gameplay, but very quickly I realized that gameplay is not what I'm strong at or known for. I'm known for my ability to analyze and cast. So that's when I shifted more towards content related to analysis, podcasts, interviews, because I'm a speaker. So I wanted to lean on my strengths. And that's when I realized like an audience is going to come to you if you give them something different, not necessarily different as in it needs to be so different from everybody else. It just needs to have your touch to it. You know, even if you're giving gameplay, you'll notice a lot of Radiant players are not necessarily big content creators as compared to a lot of like Diamond players, because the Diamond players are simply more entertaining. And at the end of the day, that's what a content creator is supposed to make. Like if you're not purely entertaining, then you have to be ridiculously educational. And that is almost impossible to achieve on a daily consistent basis. So entertainment does end up playing a big factor. And for you to be entertaining, you need to be like an open personality. So I think that's what gamers really struggle with right now. They struggle with understanding who they are versus what they show in the game. And they need to strike a balance between that. Like you need to show your personality if you're a streamer in general.
But apart from this, we have someone who has a different and a real gaming experience with esports.
I've been playing CS 1.6 PUBG Mobile and Valorant, and like I used to play games around when I was 14 years old. Right now, it's been a long journey since to me, and it's been a very like a roller coaster ride.
So I started playing CS. I started playing CS around 4.5 years ago. I think it was 2017 December. Instantly got hooked with the game. Was playing that until the release of Valorant, and after the release of Valorant, started taking Valorant very seriously, and represented teams like Team Thamulas and F1 Force One LS Esports. And right now, I'm not under any contract for an esports organization, but I've played for them. And right now, I'm just concentrating on my content creation for my YouTube channel. So it was just me and my friends going to a cafe, and he told me that you can create a name for yourself, and that was the first time I got really hooked. Because pretty much all your life you're given with something which is already predetermined for you. Like your name, you don't have a choice when your parents name you. You don't have a choice when you don't have a choice pretty much anything once you're born into this world until you can create something for yourself and you work hard. So I really like the concept of recreating myself, and that's when Lord Bathura came from Ashish, and that's when I got really hooked into it. And after like months of playing it together, I came to know that there was actually a sports side to it where people actually compete, and that's when I got hooked to it.
I started my streaming since like 2 years back when I used to play PUBG Mobile. I never thought of it, first of all, like gaming can be my passion, and I just follow my heart everywhere. Like, whatever I have to do, I'll do it anyway, anyhow. So, when I was 16 years old, I bought one new phone. Like, Poco F1 was my first phone to play PUBG on it. When I used to stream, there was no face cam, there was no actual interaction with the audience. So I used to do streaming without face cam, and I wasn't very confident, first of all, with like suddenly you have to stream in front of audience. That fears me off, to be honest, and I'm not that confident at all, first of all. But right now I'm being confident because it's my like daily job, and my finally my channel get monetized.
I wanted to be an esports player because I still want to be an esports player, but it's the hard reality that hits you sometimes. You don't have time to work hard as the others who are there in the esports field because of a lot of other personal stuff. But I still want to be an esports player because I can become a content creator even when I'm 35 to 40, but I can't become an esports player when I'm 35 to 40 because my reflexes would have slowed down by then. So the whole point is to try for becoming an esports player, but right now I've pretty much accepted reality because I can't grind as much as the other esport professionals. So trying to become a content creator at least.
यार देखो, ऐसा तो कुछ फ़र्क पड़ता नहीं कि तुम फीमेल हो या मेल हो, बट टू बी ऑनेस्ट कि डिफ़िकल्टी सबके लाइफ में आनी है. लाइक एवरीवन हैव टू स्ट्रगल इन देयर लाइफ. तो ऐसा कोई सीन नहीं कि फीमेल हो या मेल हो, बट हाँ कि घर में ऑब्वियसली कि मेरा भाई नहीं इतना गेम्स खेलता जितना मैं खेलती हूँ, और मैं स्ट्रीम भी करती हूँ. तो ऑब्वियसली पेरेंट्स को चिंता होती है कि टाइम वेस्ट कर रही है अपना, पढ़ाई पे नहीं ध्यान दे रही, मस्ती मजाक चल रहा है, इसके करियर का कुछ ध्यान नहीं है. एंड हमेशा मेरे मॉम डैड बस एक ही बात करते हैं कि तेरा करियर क्या होने वाला है.
So I've had times where there was a lot of hate thrown on me, and it happens to everyone at a point of time. And I succumbed to it. Look, I cried on stream. There are little instances where so many of them have clipped me crying on stream, and I'm scared on when all these is gonna come out to hunt me again. But I think mental pressure is something that everybody has to deal with on their own way. And how I dealt with it was I had a group of friends who never let me go at any point of their life. So I think those guys were my important thing. And I have a few favorite streamers. I started streaming because I started watching T-Bone. T-Bone is one of my favorite streamers, and I like the way how he carries the stream. Doesn't matter what game he plays, people are there to watch him, not the game he plays. That's how I aspire to be one day. Right now, there's a lot of limelight on the Indian esports scene and the esports in total. Parents are coming to know that this is not just an addiction, it's not a crime and all of that. Because basically when I started gaming, everybody saw gaming as a crime where we're considered drug lords or something for going into gaming cafes.
कि यही दिक्कतें आती कि तुम स्ट्रीम कर रही हो, तुम्हें घर का काम भी आना चाहिए. इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट कि तुम घर का काम करो, किचन संभालो, घर संभालो अपना. बट मैंने बोला कि यार हर एक का टाइम होता है. देखो, मेरे को गेम खेलने का भी टाइम दो, मैं अपना टाइम दूंगी आपको, बट आपको भी मेरे को समझना पड़ेगा, आपको भी मेरे को अपना टाइम देना पड़ेगा. तो यहाँ से हमारी लड़ाई झगड़ा जो भी होता था, लड़ाई वड़ाई होती थी बहुत, मेरी और मम्मी की खास करके, कि वी आर नॉट एक्चुअली गिविंग इनफ टाइम टू बोथ ऑफ अस मोस्टली। हाँ, कि वो लोग समझते अभी स्ट्रीम कर रही है, क्योंकि हम लोग का एक्चुअली ऑन स्ट्रीम भी झगड़ा हो चुका है। लाइक माई ब्रदर एक्चुअली सपोर्ट्स मी अलॉट, बिकॉज जब मैं पबजी मोबाइल खेल रही थी मतलब प्रोफेशनली, एंड आई डोंट हैव दैट गुड डिवाइस आईफोन एक्स्ट्रा, मेरे को चाहिए था, तो मेरा 12 भी चल रहा था एंड वॉज हार्ड टू फोकस ऑन योर स्टडीज़ एज वेल एज ऑन योर टूर्नामेंट, बिकॉज जैसे ही मेरा बोर्ड्स ख़त्म हुए उसके 2 दिन बाद ही मुंबई स्पोर्ट्स लैंड चैम्पियनशिप था गर्ल्स का। मेरे घर वाले रेडी नहीं थे एंड मेरे घर वालों को कुछ पता नहीं कि लैंड टूर्नामेंट्स क्या होते हैं, एंड मतलब मुंबई में तो देवर लाइक ठीक है जा, बट वो लोग बोले थे कि पढ़ के जा, तो मैंने हाँ बोला कि आई वॉन्ट लीव माई 12th। देन मेरा था 2 दिन बाद मुंबई लैंड टूर्नामेंट एंड मेरे पास डिवाइस नहीं था, क्योंकि यू ऑल नो दैट पबजी मोबाइल में डिवाइस मैटर्स अ लॉट। लाइक एंड्रॉयड में इन द लास्ट सर्कल इट वॉज वेरी हार्ड टू सर्वाइव, इतना लैग होता है, इतना डिस्टर्बेंस होता है, तो इट वॉज लाइक द फ़ोन वॉज टोटली हैंग्ड। तो फिर सीन हुआ कि मेरे भाई ने बोला कि इसको नया फ़ोन दिलाओ, इसका टूर्नामेंट है, लैंड टूर्नामेंट है, एंड शी रियली डिज़र्व्स अ फ़ोन। तो मेरी मॉम ने मेरे भाई को समझा एंड मेरे भाई ने मॉम डैड से ये बोल के मेरे को आईफोन एक्स दिया। सो मेरा भाई बहुत सपोर्टिव है गेमिंग में।
So for the first 1 year when I was attending CSGO, small CSGO college tournaments and stuff, my dad never knew. I would just bunk college, or I was just like tell them I'm going out and instead go be playing there. They came to know about it after a point of time, and now how they see it as something I used to blow my steam off. My dad still doesn't let me play for 8 hours to 9 hours on a PC, but he still lets me play for 4 hours or 5 hours. He respects my streaming time. Nobody disturbs me in the room, and I see that as a huge growth from a guy from where we were not supposed to use computers for more than an hour, to them understanding and to them giving me an actual room so that I can stream is something very huge for me from their side.
एक्चुअली हर मदर एंड फादर जो इसको बिल्कुल सपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं, उनके खिलाफ उनको ये कहना है कि ये इसमें कोई स्कोप नहीं है ज़्यादा। वो तो मेरे को भी लगता है, क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा कंपटीशन रही है, लेकिन फिर भी मुझे लगता है ये जिस हिसाब से इसका है कि इसका मोटिवेशन, इसका ये जितना ये एक बार मैंने देखा था इसको रात को, मतलब सुबह 2 बजे से लेकर रात को 2 बजे तक ये सीट पे ही बैठी थी, कंटिन्यूस बैठी 12 घंटे। आप समझ, मैं 4 घंटा नहीं बैठ पाऊँगा, 12 घंटे एक जगह सीट में ये बैठ सकती है, तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा ही है इसका। मुझे लगता है इन फ्यूचर शी में बी अ टॉप इंडियन कॉम्पिटिटिव प्लेयर, and after 2 years she got her first income, in that first not say income, it's a first prize or gift from YouTube. मैं इसको देखता हूँ, इसका फेस बना रहता है, जो 2 मिनट का एक रहता है राउंड, 2-2.5 मिनट का, वो पूरे राउंड में इतना स्ट्रेस आएगा इसको, मतलब इसको ऐसे लगता है इसको सिगरेट चाहिए या कुछ चाहिए ऐसा, इसको अपना स्ट्रेस निकालने के लिए। ये पीती नहीं है लेकिन इसको चाहिए ऐसा, मेरे को इसको देख के लगता है। तो मैं बोलता हूँ अगर तो इतना स्ट्रेस आ रहा है तो यू कैन लीव इट, यू कैन डू सम अदर थिंग, बट शी वाज लाइक नो, आई वांट टू प्ले इट एंड आई विल बिकम द फर्स्ट इंडियन वुमेन एंड फर्स्ट कॉम्पिटिटिव प्लेयर एंड आई विल गो इन ई-स्पोर्ट्स एंड आई विल विन।
The best way you can tackle hate is venting it out to your friends, saying this is what's happening, what should I do? They'll give you better examples because they're the public who's watching you, so they have the public mindset while you're the one receiving it, so they'll have better ideas on what to do and how to deal with trolls. Troll them back, like legit, like troll them back as in don't abuse him or something, saying using profane language, but troll him back. You can be sarcastic, you can be very funny on how you answer so that he keeps his tongue to himself the next time. I think that's something we can do. Yeah.
Many countries like South Korea and Japan are supporting their young gamers to work hard on their gaming skills and represent their country in global gaming leagues. But in India, there is no government support given to them.
For esports, I think they just have to first understand and get exposed to it. They come to know these things much later. So now you're seeing a lot of regulation happening in crypto. Now they know, okay, this is what crypto is. We can kind of do something over here. Esports is just that, because cash prizes are distributed in crypto now. So once you have them entering into a very advanced phase like crypto, they just got to go a little bit backwards towards gaming. Everything is available. So we just got to, let's say, reduce import duty on equipment because everything's from abroad. We got to increase development over India. We need to increase digital studio development over here so that more and more business comes to India for development of games, distribution, sales, and overall enjoyment, you know.
So Yes, first of all, for your first question, I do think they should at least think about esports. I'm not sure about focusing and priorities because, of course, I'm not really into policy as much. Like, I'm not a government person, but I believe esports, like, globally is one of the, if not the biggest growing industry in the world right now. And therefore, it becomes logical to me for a developing country like India, which where we're like, I think, one of the biggest developing countries in the world, to pick up something early on so we can also use that as a mode to just develop the country's economy further. Having said that, what does the government need to do to help esports progress? I think right now just recognizing and legitimizing it is very important. Like, behind normal sports, you have a lot of laws regulating not just how tournaments should be run, but also how players' contracts are, how players get paid, and a lot of issues with esports lie within the whole legitimacy aspect. Once we actually get some laws behind it, some recognition, some legitimacy, then we can start working on infrastructure. We can start working on technology development, like getting optic fiber cables all around the country, stuff like that. But all that is very, very long term. The first step is just like recognition.
अगर हम लोग जापान की बात करें तो वहाँ पे एक्चुअली गेमिंग स्कूल्स बनाए थे कि दे आर एक्चुअली एक्सेप्टिंग दैट कि हाँ गेमिंग में कुछ हो सकता है. तो इंडिया शायद जापान से थोड़ा इंस्पायर्ड हो सकती है या और नेशन से कि वो इतना वर्ल्ड वाइड है, इतना मतलब चाइना में टूर्नामेंट्स होते हैं, जापान में भी होते हैं, एंड तुम लोगों को पता है एनए और यूरोप में तो कितना ही क्रेज़ है गेमिंग का. तो अगर गवर्नमेंट कुछ चाहे तो वो हमारे लिए ये कर सकती कि गेमिंग हेडक्वार्टर्स बना दे कि जो भी लाइक अभी तुम लोग देख सकते हो चेन्नई या तमिल में आई गेस नॉर्डविन गेमिंग करके है जो बहुत ही अमेजिंग हेडक्वार्टर्स है गेमिंग के लिए अगर तुम लोग देख रहे जाइए, क्योंकि वहाँ पे जनरली सारी कास्टिंग होती है, वीसीसी भी वहीं से स्ट्रीम हो रहा है एंड जो भी उनका सेटअप है वो पूरा वहाँ पे है.
Every Indian gamer dreams to represent their country at least once, but there are current professional players who want to participate in big leagues to prove that not every Indian player is a hacker.
तो इन पीसी गेमिंग कम्युनिटी क्या हुआ था कि ऑप्टिक इंडिया में हैवान डेथमेकर सब लोग थे, उन्होंने रिप्रेजेंट किया था इंडिया को, बट यू नो अबाउट द 4 सेकंड सीन. तो वहाँ से इंडिया को बैन पड़ा. इंडिया एक्चुअली इन द एज की वहाँ से पूरा स्पोर्ट्स ख़त्म हो सकता था इंडिया से, बट दे गेव अ चांस टू अस. एंड राइट नाउ वो दाग मिटाने के लिए एवरी इंडियन प्लेयर, एवरी इंडियन स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर इज़ वर्किंग हार्ड कि वो इन फ्यूचर जो भी वर्ल्ड टूर्नामेंट्स होते हैं वहाँ पे वो लोग रिप्रेजेंट कर पाए अपनी कंट्री. सो इट इज़ लाइक वन ऑफ माई ड्रीम्स टू रिप्रेजेंट माई कंट्री इन फ्यूचर टूर्नामेंट्स ग्लोबली. तो क्या हुआ था कि ऑप्टिक इंडिया में यू नो 4 सेकंड, यू नो हैवान, यू नो डेथमेकर और सब TSM TSM ब्लेज वाउ, जिसमें ब्लेज में मार्जल और एस्केरोसी था. TSM में सिमर हेलेफ सब थे शायद आई गेस. हाँ, राइट टू इज़. तो उसमें क्या हुआ था कि सिमर ने डाउट किया था कि 4 सेकंड इज अ हैकर, यू शुड एक्चुअली रिपोर्ट हिम, बट नो वन वाज लिसनिंग टू हिम. एंटीडोट डेथमेकर हैवान 4 सेकंड क्वालिफाई हो गई मतलब नेक्स्ट स्टेज के लिए. तो उस टाइम क्या हुआ कि नो वन वॉज एक्चुअली डाउटिंग ऑन 4 सेकंड, बट इन दी एंड जब वो लोग लैंड खेलने गए थे फाइनली दे वर रिप्रेजेंटिंग इंडिया इन द ग्रेटर वर्ल्ड टूर्नामेंट्स. तो वहाँ पे क्या हुआ था कि 4 सेकंड वॉज कॉट ऑन हैकिंग. तो 4 सेकंड हैक करते हुए ऑफिशियल लैंड इंटरनेशनल टूर्नामेंट में पकड़ा गया. वो आई गेस चाइना में था. हाँ, चाइना में था, ताइवान में कुछ लोकेशन प्लेस थी आई गेस. यप. तो वहाँ पे 4 सेकंड एक्चुअली कॉट ऑन हैक्स कि वो वॉल हैक यूज़ करता था, एम्बॉट यूज़ करता था. तो वहाँ से वो 4 सेकंड का सीन चालू हुआ था एंड India was like the next day India got disqualified from the event and they got back their homes. Like they were really disappointing. मतलब उनका ही प्लेयर इंडिया मतलब प्रोफेशनल टूर्नामेंट में हैक करते हुए पकड़ा गया.
Future is never predictable even for gamers when their journey came to a halt when PUBG was banned in India.
So before PUBG Mobile came in, esports was known to only 50 people out of 1,000, but after PUBG Mobile came in, it was known close to 650 to 700 people out of 1,000. See, whatever esports is India right now, I will tell you at least 90% of it is from what PUBG Mobile. It has brought a lot of light into the Indian esports scene, telling that there are players here. Because I think PUBG is one of the most prominent esports where Indians have traveled abroad and showed our dominance there too. So I think PUBG Mobile plays a very, very important factor. The truth is, there are a lot of people who don't like PUBG Mobile and who show hate on PUBG Mobile professionals, saying that's not a game, blah blah blah, blah this. But at the end of the day, I just think that we should just be thankful for them. But yeah, being a PC gamer, you find it difficult when the PUBG Mobile guy who's putting the same amount of hard work as you are is getting more exposure. But that is what it is. Sometimes you have to accept reality as what it is, because everybody has access to a mobile phone. Everybody knows what BGMI is. I think everybody should be thankful to PUBG Mobile for boosting the Indian esports scene.
So esports before PUBG Mobile came in India was lacking everything I mentioned when I was saying what are the hurdles to esports right now, which is the legitimacy, like the business aspect, how a player approaches the whole contract basis, the salary basis, the idea of splitting winnings, and the idea of not just having an organization, but an organization take care of you with like a proper infrastructure. Like I think SATUL Gaming House, I always love to take as an example, because they have everything there. They have the right equipment to do proper shoots, which means content comes out. They have merch coming out. They have proper systems ready for their players. Even though like they primarily play mobile games, they have the computer system so that their players can actually stream and try different in general PC games when they want to just relax and play, because that's a very important aspect for any gamer. Like as a talent, I can tell you that it becomes very hard to balance work and what you started off in getting into work, like games in general. So that balance is very crucial for orgs to understand. And that came to India only because of PUBG, because with PUBG, we gained a massive player base. Of course, the finances came in. And as the finances came in, we got more recognition for our country. And the more recognition we got, the more infrastructure was built up. So PUBG, like, I don't think 90% of the things we currently hold like as this is basic right now would have been there without PUBG in India.
तो it was really like इतनी मेहनत की क्यों यार, जब गेम ही बैन होनी है. तो उसके बाद पूरा जो मॉरल था कि इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट करना है गेम में, सब डाउन हो गया. मतलब सारे सपने टूट गए थे, सारे सपने बिखर गए थे ऐसे ज़मीन में, दिख रहे थे मेरे को भाई अब कुछ नहीं होने वाला. मतलब मैंने अपना पूरा 2 साल वेस्ट किया इस चीज़ में कि अब कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा. आई शुड लाइक मेरे को अंदर से फील आ रहा था कि छोड़ दो गेमिंग, वैसे भी कुछ है नहीं, क्योंकि इतनी मेहनत करने के बाद अगर गेम बैन हो रही है इंडिया में तो वो खेलने का मतलब ही नहीं है, इतना टाइम वेस्ट करने का मतलब ही नहीं है.
But after PUBG ban, the rise of VALORANT was emerged.
So when PUBG Mobile was banned and it was time for the birth of BGMI, we saw a lot of PUBG Mobile creators who I'm really, really thankful for, because they showed a lot, they shoved a lot of light onto VALORANT, and VALORANT is now a very, very big thing in India.
But then, PUBG Corporation launched BGMI and gaming industry in India was once again booming.